Hey, oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome.
Oh
This is the
man.
flagship airing our maiden voyage of Swim Qual.
Yeah, man.
This is our podcast. I'm Wolf.
I'm the corpsman formerly known as LC.
Welcome aboard, man.
This is nice. This is cool to do.
It is.
I was oh
What you
man,
laughing at, man? We just started.
it's the fact that we're even doing this, honestly. Is there's a lot of times that you have an idea or you have this kind of like a vision or whatever, people telling you like, hey, you should do X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden you're doing it and you're like, oh snap. Like it's surreal almost to be in this moment here with you. I feel like a Disney princess.
I told you we was gonna start this, man. So, if you guys don't know, we started this idea. So, first of all, the name of the podcast is Swim Qual. So it's like a play on swim qualifications. But we're both Navy vets. I did 12 years.
I did 8 total.
We're both corpsmen, which is the medical of the Navy. We both were in the Navy, and we're just some vets. We're here to talk about in a silly way, but we're here to just kind of talk about issues, particularly related to being people of color, African Americans, minorities in the military,
Hmm.
not just the Navy. And our entire podcast is about hard hitting topics in a digestible way that we can talk about.
Digestible, digestible, digestible. Um, as as people watch, as you guys come through and join us, I think that you're gonna see that it's our version of digestible sometimes teeters on inappropriate. And let me be the first to apologize in advance for that. That said, it's gonna be my last time apologizing for it.
Listen, man, we're unapologetically, we're not here to insult anybody. We're not here to say anything mean. But we are here to talk about some harsh truths. And sometimes when you talk about harsh truths, it can get a little gritty. It can get a little gritty. But we're here to make you laugh. We're here to make you think.
Yes, definitely. Certain things take place in the military as well as outside of the military when you're transitioning back to civilian life, that don't get talked about. And we're here to kind of hone in on those things so that for those of us who are coming in now, um, the young members who are going in not just Navy but Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, I guess. Um,
Like that. We still love the puddle pirates. Don't treat them like that.
yeah. Y'all got that one good movie with Ashton Kutcher, I guess.
Hey,
Um,
listen, the Guardian was bang, sir.
but no, there's just a lot of issues that happen, and the hope is that by presenting it in this manner, not only junior sailors, junior soldiers, and whatever else, but the higher ups could see certain things that we've been doing right and keep doing it, and things that we've been maybe missing the mark on, and try their best to fix it. So yeah, man. I earlier on, I definitely, when you were saying that we were both in the Navy and stuff, I just really wanted to say so badly that we were mature seamen.
Your job is shit.
I'm just a very seasoned seaman.
You say those words 3 times fast. Anyway, so a little bit about our background. Um, so um, we we both kind of did. I came in a little bit before Greg. So I did a lot of time. Okay, let's start over. Sorry. So I came in 2010. I'm gonna show my age a little bit. I came in 2010, prime rhyme and ready to dive. Yeah, it did not work out the way I thought it was going to. It's so funny how your best laid plans they always blow up. Anywho, so I joined in 2010. I was kind of like at a way in my life where I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go into. And so I just lost my scholarship in school and a whole bunch of, I was making terrible decisions. If anybody tell you you're an adult in your early 20s, it's a lie. You're not an adult. You're just a teen that's legally able to make mistakes. That's it. Anyway, so I was like, hey, I need to figure out how to decide if what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And the guy was like, hey, why don't you join the Navy? I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? Now, I'm gonna preface with everything that I'm about to say after this is something that every black person that has joined the military, especially the Navy, has probably thought. Do I have to swim? Yes, you have to swim. It's the Navy. Like, and just let me preface that again. With every branch, you will have to do something swimming. You will have to do some qualification that requires you to swim. Let me just let you know. It's not as bad as the Navy, but if you're looking to join, you will have to swim in some shape, form, or fashion.
Also, just an asterisk to that. I know that we joke about it a lot, and we're just like, a lot of us never even have to see water. Why is it so necessary? What I will say to that is, if you're younger thinking about joining, if you're older, you're already in. If you're older and thinking about joining because we just upped the age, swimming is a really good way to stay fit.
It is. It's good for your joints. It's good for your joints. It's not as impactful. Yada yada yada. Fair enough.
No, but for real. And then on top of that, if you're not into like going to the gym, lifting weights, stuff like that, is
Don't join the
definitely like
Marines. I can tell you that.
never join. No, well,
If
we're
you're
not
into
gonna get there.
lifting, we are gonna get there. We're the Department of the Navy. Hello,
Jesus Christ.
get there. Fallujah, Iwo Jima. I mean, we have to go. Come on, man.
You are right. Yes, the Marine Corps are our
Especially being corpsman. Hello.
yeah. Jesus Christ. The Marine Corps are our very special uh younger siblings.
They're that little child that you want to strangle because they keep eating crayons.
Hey man, if you grew up in the hood, you know how you got that one little cousin who's younger than you but bigger than you and always ready to fight? Like that's the one that man, Junebug, word. That's the Marine Corps in a nutshell.
That's it.
To get back to what I was saying, swimming is beneficial after the actual swim qual tests and stuff like that. Those suck.
Which we're going to get
But
into.
if you can get past that portion, swimming is actually kind of beneficial. Anyway, as you were, my bad.
Thank you. Very well. Appreciate that. But yeah, so you get to your boot camp and stuff, and so let me tell you, I can't speak for other branches because I didn't experience their boot camp. And I seen they got the thing on TMZ or not TMZ. What is the Oprah channel? The whatever network, the Oprah Winfrey Network or whatever, where they show boot camp, where they show how these guys do boot camp. It really is like that. Like you get off the bus, it's boom, boom, boom. They're yelling in your face, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have the yellow footprints, but we had something. I think we just had yellow lines because why? Anyway, it's been a long time, guys. Come on. It's hard for me to remember every single detail.
It's all right, dog. Take your vitamins in the morning. You'll be all right.
You're real funny. I see what you did there. So we once you get there and you do all of that, the first big milestone that you have to deal with is swim. That's what 2 weeks in, I think we were. Yeah, the first big milestone. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks. Yeah, the first big milestone is swim qual. Everything else is just kind of getting you in condition, working out, marching, learning the basics of being in the military, learning Navy history. It's a bunch of ribble rabble. Is that swim qual? That swim qualifications, the whole thing that this podcast is named after, that's who you know who's who.
It's also the first time that you could really get, unless you're an idiot and you do dumb stuff, that's the first time that you could really get kicked out. That's the first time that you encounter an obstacle that could really be like, make or break. You know what I mean? And I think that they do it so early so that you can try it as much as possible. So we'll get more into that as well. But it definitely is. Hey, man, I hate to be the one to tell y'all. When you do swim quals and there's the side of people who pass immediately, you know,
Y'all look like the Buffalo Soldiers, is what he's trying to say. It's the red tails, but we ain't in the air. It's all, if you look to the right, all the people on pass look like me and him. Look like you. Because if you're watching this podcast, you're probably one of us. All the colors over there. That's what he's saying. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I told y'all we preface this. We giving it to y'all raw and uncut. They over there.
yeah, no, we up on the bleachers somewhere,
Yeah.
and everybody got that look on their face, you know, which is a blend of oh my god, I almost died, and oh my god, I thought I could swim better than this.
I thought I could swim better than this is probably the best one. Because I was one of the I thought I could swim better than this. Let me tell you, when you get off that hot dive, you think you could swim. That you can't swim how you want to, so you ain't in there like smacking it. They gonna hit you. It's this big old stick. Pulse, no diddy. It's this big old stick that they hit you with in the pool. And if you ain't swimming right, they gonna hit you with the stick again, no diddy, and they gonna tell you to flip on your back. And they're gonna tell you to do a backstroke all the way through. So if you can't do no other stroke, if you think about going into the Navy, there's some tips. I just gave you a little gem. Practice your backstroke if you can't do your front stroke. I'm telling you, it's gonna get you through. I'm just letting y'all know. But that's why this is called Swim Qual, because the first and the most glaring difference between cultures of us as Black people and everybody else shows instantly. Because we just don't, the amount of swimming that we do in comparison to other people, we just don't do it.
As a Caribbean person,
Cause the island boy trying to make it.
it's an island, so you're surrounded by water. So the odds that you can't swim are like minimal, right? So it's here where kind of that cockiness sets in a little bit because I thought, hey man, I could swim. I could swim forward, backward, upward, downward, whatever.
Every way
One
but
thing
the
I
right way.
never, every way but the right way. The one thing I was not prepared for was when you and I did it. It was a prone float, which means you got to be on your face, right, in the water, and kind of lay out like a dead body and float, right. Whereas now people are able to get on their back and try and float. I did my swim portion, zero problems. I stepped off, I got in the water, swam back up, swam what 50 meters to the right, and then however many meters forward, and it was fine. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I've passed swim
Clueless.
because the operative word in swim qual is swim. I did the swim. Now
Got
these
him.
these you know MFers talking about something. All right, now get on your face and float. I've never practiced that. I've never. If you on your face floating where I'm from, that means you're dead and somebody killed you. I've never practiced for that. I've never been able to be like, you know what I think would be cool? Not breathing. Like
You know
I've
what,
never.
bro? As a kid, I used to play at the pool like that. But never as long as they make you do it. So we're
Right.
gonna drop another gem for y'all. For all again, people who thinking about joining. And if you joined and you did this already, I'm sorry if I'm bringing up bad memory and PTSD. It's okay if they give you disability. Ask me how I know. Anyway, so there's a 5-minute timer, 5 whole minutes, where they take you to the deepest part of the water and you have to float on your face.
Yeah.
And it's called the dead man float. It's supposed to help you preserve energy if you ever get lost at sea.
You get lost and see you die. Right? You're
dying. You're dying.
Stop.
You're
Stop
done.
the
I'll show
cat.
you your
Stop the
coveralls.
cat.
You have a better chance of your coveralls. I'll give you that. But so it's supposed to be a way for you to conserve energy. Why you have to do it face down? I used to not understand it, but if you've ever been lost at sea or seen the Lost at Sea shows, the above you, like you're in the water, yeah, the ocean, you're in the ocean, right? So your buoyancy is going to be a lot higher because of the salinity. I'm showing my nerdiness just a little bit because of the salinity in the water in comparison to like pool water and stuff like that. So you're going to be more buoyant. Um, but the biggest thing that kills a lot of people is the chill, is the crosswind that comes across when you're out there. So they teach you to stick your face in the water to protect yourself from the crosswinds. Now, it's a double-edged sword because every time you stick your face in the water, you're dehydrating your skin. And if anybody, again, if you've ever been lost at sea or been through the lost at sea training, the first thing to go is your lips. That 5 minutes is the longest 5 minutes in your entire existence. And the downside is you cannot, like, it. You have to kick your feet, and it just becomes this war of attrition between you and the water.
Yeah.
I did not pass my float. It started week 2, I believe it was. Week 2, let's say week 3.
Mhm.
It started week 3. I did not pass my float until week 5. Week 4. Yeah. So the thing is, if you don't pass your float, wherever part of so the swim test is in 3 parts. There is the dead man float. There is the, is it 250 meters? Is it 250 meters? I think it's 250 meters.
250?
Is it?
It's a couple meters. It's some meters.
It's a 250 meter swim. And then there's the coverall one that you have to do. So it's a 3-part. If you don't pass any parts of that, you do not pass the entire thing. So you could pass all in. The good part is, though, the part that you fail is the only part you have to redo.
Did anybody ever fail the coverall part? Because I feel like that should just...
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who your instructor was. Because I did it a couple of times, and I was like, yo, I don't feel the air. Like, I couldn't get enough. I have short arms, dude. I'm like 5'7". So I couldn't like get enough air into my coveralls to get it going. But anyway, so if you don't pass it, so in every day you have to go back and swim. So for 2 whole weeks, I went back to the pool. When I tell you, I was strong. There you go, jerk. Anyway, when I tell you, I felt so refreshed when I finally got out of the pool. This goes back to what Greg was talking about. Getting, it's a good workout. I was strong from all the swimming that I was doing. But anyway, so I passed it. But that is, again, why this podcast is called Swim Qual, because it is the most glaring, the toughest thing that I felt like people of color had to deal with. What do you think, Greg? In the beginning.
I think in the beginning, look, dog, I hated that crap. I hated it so much. I hated it. What time of the year were you in boot camp?
I had the premium time to go. I went April 4th, 2010. So I was premium.
All right. So mind you, okay, I'm gonna age myself too. All right. So, I think me and Sean are what, like 2 years apart. So 2 or 3, whatever. So, for me also, yeah, I graduated high school, went to college, spent majority of my time in college. I went to college in Miami also. I went to Miami-Dade Community College.
He's a Florida man, guys. You will be hearing the Florida man jokes.
Shut up. Anyway, look, all I did during those 4 years was nothing good. Nothing savory, nothing I'm proud of currently. Okay. So, a lot of people would say that I dropped out of college. I just left. I just stopped going.
I just left.
Like, one day I was there, and the next day I was in the Navy. All right, and
fair enough.
And there was no real gap in between. It was like, oh man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. There you go.
Yeah,
we should. Yeah. We gonna do that next time. That'd be dope. Anyway,
but no. Oh my god. No. So I joined. I realized that I was just in college just for the sake of not hearing my parents talk, and then mom's got sick. I was like, oh snap, my mom. If anything happens to my mom, I'm pretty much on the street. Like, I have my dad, yeah, but like, like, as a man, I was like, I'm gonna have to take care of everything. So I figured that the military might be the best way for me to do that. That said, I went to the Navy in February. Started February 11, 2014. Yeah, 2014. right? So I had done all 4 years of college with nothing to show for it. All right, so I'd been in there for a hot minute. Community college is that most people do 2 years community college and then go to. I did all four, and I had a
You
job
just
at
out
the
there
school.
partying. You just out there partying.
It's Miami, dog, Miami. You feel me? Um, that's how you know you're a heathen when you end up at other people's school parties that you don't attend.
True, true.
Um, but I go. It's February again in Illinois. Don't say Chicago because people from Chicago will correct the crap out you. We were at Great Lakes, Illinois, so
Great
it's
mistakes, baby.
great mistakes. And the problem with that is, look, I don't know what Great Lake is near where we were, but it's
Erie, I think.
already
I think
winter.
Erie was the closest.
That's what it felt like. It was eerie as hell, dog. Like the it was cold constantly. All right.
Snow
So
watch.
it was snow, and it wasn't that like nice hard snow that you could step in and you feel the crunch under your feet. It was that thin layer of snow with ice underneath. So every time you step on it, you're falling. That's all it was. Marching was just falling in style. We were all a bunch of Buzz Lightyears. Okay, like you try and pivot, you slipping. You try and turn to the left, you doing Michael Jackson dances. Okay,
I'm slipping. I'm falling. I
so
can't
I
get up.
can't get up. So it already sucked doing that. The part that Sean didn't mention about the swim qual is if and when you fail. And I say if and when because some of you will fail the first time. When you go the first time to do your swim qual, you go as an entire group. You go with your class. Everybody
Oh
comes
yeah,
through. Your
the
instructor. They
straggler
watch you.
walk. I did forget about that.
So the thing about failing is now that you have to keep on going back, you and whoever else in your
Division.
division that failed it now have to march separately from the rest of your group to and from the what was it,
Freedom
Liberty
Hall.
Pool, the
Well, it was
Freedom
Liberty Pool.
Hall.
Freedom Hall.
Liberty
No, Freedom Hall was a gym. You're right. It was Liberty Pool.
Freedom, yeah, it was Liberty Pool, the Liberty Pool. I didn't feel free, but yes, it was the Liberty Pool. So now for me, my ship or the building that I lived in, that my barracks were in, is the furthest building from the entrance,
Oof.
and Liberty Pool is like right behind the entrance. So
It's a long march, man.
you talking about like a good 30-minute walk
And you
to
can't just
the,
walk. You have
and you
to
can't just walk.
walk
You're
properly.
in formation. You're
You're in
marching
a
in
formation
formation.
of what?
So you're in a formation of however many of you failed. And yes, I was the last guy in my group to pass.
Because one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
So so now you're marching to this nonsense. You are you're by yourself, and we have these people who are there to mess with you called FQA, and they all dress like Harry Potter instructors from Hogwarts, and their whole existence, the whole reason for their being, is to catch you messing up. So we would go, we would do our thing. I would walk all the way over there. I'd jump in the water. I'd try and float because that's the part I failed on, and I would fail at floating. So then I gotta go watch this person stamp my shit saying you suck, and then I'd have to march back. Now I'm cold. Oh, here's the other part they don't tell you. I'm putting y'all on game for real. Here's the other part they don't tell you. Your first time doing it, they put you in the main pool. The main pool is heated during the day.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So the fact that it's cold outside doesn't bother you as much because you're in a heated pool. And then when you jump out that heated pool, you run a little bit to the showers. You get a hot shower. You put on your uniform. You're snug. You're ready to go back to the barracks.
Yeah. Got your Gore-Tex on with your liner.
When you have to go back to swim, It's later in the day, so everybody who was going to swim the first time has already done that. So it's later in the day, meaning it's colder.
Yes,
And
sir.
then they don't put you in the main pool. They put you in
Inside
what I
pool, yeah.
honestly think in someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but the location and overall aesthetic of the other pool makes it feel like it's the colors only pool. Right? So now you in the Rosa Parks pool. It's not heated. It's cold as hell. And then you got all the kids who are like who want to go off and be SEALs. They're in the like them
The
900
Buzz
or
Duds.
100 the Bud
800,
SEALs,
800,
800 division, whatever. The
900
division I
was
wasn't a
music.
part of. Whatever.
Yeah.
The ones that were talented, okay? The not yous. The ones who weren't regular. Okay? Them
Uh,
kids were running in and out of the door that's right next to the pool.
and so you kept on
So
getting that cold breeze.
so every time you in the water, they open the door and it's free. Just oh my god, it hurts to talk about. So now you spent 5 minutes with people yelling at you. You feel like Jack from Titanic, and nobody helping. Yeah, dog. So like Sean said, like yeah, you get strong because trust and believe me. After a while, I'm not floating. You come to the realization that you can't float,
You can't
right?
float. We're going to talk about that in a second, too.
Right. So now that you can't float, kick your legs. Kick your legs until you can't kick them no more.
Give no more. Yeah.
Treading water for 5 minutes when you're not an actual swimmer. I don't care how much of an athlete you are.
Yeah,
I don't
that
care
shit's
how much of an
different.
athlete you are.
That shit hit different,
You
boy.
tread in water for 5 minutes in one spot. You're not swimming to get further. You're not swimming to go someplace. You're not even swimming in circles. You are in one spot just treading water. Your legs gonna feel like string beans, bro. Like when that cramp
100%.
finally sets in, because you're gonna cramp up either during or after, and when it hits, you gonna bruh, that Charlie horse gonna have your calves looking like Saquon Barkley, like
Yeah.
that just uh yeah
Yeah,
man.
it sucks. All right, we're going to move past swimming in a second. I'm just going to throw this one out. So, if you guys don't know, for all of you who are not biologically inclined or don't like science or think science is stupid, you as an African American, you are heavier.
Oh,
Your
your
muscle
bone density,
density, your bone
yeah,
density, all that stuff, you are heavier. So it is harder for you to float unless you are
yes.
of a more round size. But for a
Ooh,
smaller people, yeah, a smaller people, it is it is increasingly more difficult.
I'm gonna say this, and I need our attorneys to really like take
You
heed
real
of what I'm
funny.
about to say.
You real funny.
Um, Before I say it, I don't mean any disrespect. I am only trying to be helpful. If you are a young lady and you are top heavy, or you're a young lady who is bottom heavy, or in this day and age, you might be a young man who's bottom heavy.
Cut the tape, man. Cut the tape. Cut the
all
tape.
that stuff, all that stuff is going to help you float a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna make
Not
you a
so
little
much the
bit more
backside,
buoyant.
not so much the backside, but the front side.
The
You
built-in flotation devices.
those
Yeah,
built-in
yeah,
floaties. All right,
yeah.
so
You use them.
um,
Use them. You gonna need
so
them.
if you are a young woman who's thinking about joining the military, but you're also thinking about getting a breast reduction, just wait. Wait till you're in and get that done. Number one, you get it done for free if you're smart enough, and number two, that's what's going to help you pass this float nonsense. You feel me?
100%.
Uh, them nice little flotation devices you got attached to your front. Thank Jesus for them. Even if you want to get rid of them, let your back hurt for 8 weeks, baby, and then go on and get you a surgery. But look, Sean, look, because
Dude,
I
I'm
wish I had
moving
them.
on. I'm moving on. But yeah, so that's your whole swim qual experience. After that, boot camp is pretty chill. Everything else that you deal with is pretty chill.
Yeah.
Um, you got usually my division was I didn't have a mixed division. I had all males in my division, but there
Oh,
were divisions that have males and females.
co-ed. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there are definitely co-ed divisions. So a lot of things you do see, again for our females, there is. They will tell you that there is no fraternization, but there is. So be safe, protect yourself. They do try to do a decent job at making sure it doesn't happen. The RDCs are they are put through a lot. I will say that shout out to the RDCs. Anybody that RDC is recruit division commander, they're your red ropes. They're the people that run you through your boot camp. They're in charge of your division.
In other
Um,
branches, you would call them drill
and
sergeant, but
yeah, they're drill sergeants and all types of other stuff in other divisions. But that's
mhm.
basically who they are. Um, they are very heavily scrutinized. Their C school. That's a C school, right? Or is it an
Yeah,
A
it is a
school?
C school. No, no, it's a
It's a
C
C
school.
school.
Yeah.
The C school that they go through, it's a pretty arduous. A lot of stuff that they got to do, a lot of monotonous stuff. So they really don't want to get hemmed up or get in trouble because it's a lot that they have to do. They push like four or five pushes for a cycle, something like that
Easy.
before they can
Yeah.
rotate out.
Before they rotate out, yeah.
So yeah,
If you don't understand what Sean just said about 4 or 5 pushes before they can rotate out, picture it like this. You're a school teacher, okay?
hmm
And your school year is however long. Like you have a full year of school. But here's the thing. Instead of having a class that you teach from
for
beginning
the
to
entire
end
year. Oh,
for the entire year, you now have 4
a
different
class every eight
classes that you
weeks.
teach, and you go 8 weeks with trying to force feed people from different walks of life, people who speak different languages, people who are from different, parts of the US, parts of the world, even.
Yeah,
So now you're trying to train all these people to do the same thing and function like kind of unilaterally. You get them to that point, they graduate, and tomorrow you got to start over with a whole brand new class. Ain't no break in between. Ain't no, oh man, I'm gonna miss y'all. Ain't no,
nope.
what was that graduation song by Vitamin C? The graduation
As
song.
we go on.
None of that.
We remember all the times we had together. Anyway,
After Swim Qual, depending on how late you go, you might have not got dinner. So now you got to go to dinner
church.
alone. So I had to go to dinner by myself, but one of my RDCs was also going to get himself some food. So usually when you go get food, the RDCs go do their own thing. They're nowhere near you, and you're able
Because
to
they
have
hate you.
like right.
'Cause
You're able
they
to
hate
have a human conversation for the first time in the day with the lunch ladies.
you. Not the lunch
Lunch
ladies.
lady, I'm like, oh, hello, how are you? But at this point, I already know her, and she's also an older black woman, so I feel more comfortable being like, oh, hey, darling, how you doing? This, that, and the third. I give her the regular Southern hospitality treatment, and she's like, oh my God, my boo LC, blase squaze, and my chief looks at me and he's half smiling, half frowning, and I don't know if I'm about to get beat for it like for this woman calling me LC.
You couldn't get beat.
So we get back to the barracks, and immediately this man, like a gossip girl, tells my entire division how the big breasted lady in the cafeteria calls me
Not
LC,
the big
and he can
breasted
understand
lady.
why. He was asking me like, "Is that who I write letters to?" And
No,
it's was the plan to make her my dependent after
no,
after boot
no,
camp.
no,
He was like, I ain't mad at you. I like the chess too. And I was like, oh my God,
no,
man.
no.
And from that moment, basically everybody at boot camp, all my RDCs, everybody who's ever met me while I was active duty, no one ever called me Lewis Charles. Everybody called me LC. So
First of all, this podcast look pretty good, man. If you guys ever want to get into a podcast, make sure shout out to Unalike Multimedia Solutions. They put all this together. They will be doing our future videos.
hmm
So when you guys see YouTube and our Twitch and all that, Unalike Multimedia Studios, check them out.
yeah, man.
That's my shameless plug right there.
Hell yeah. But
But
you
yeah,
got to.
lunch ladies, man. They keep the lights on, man. Figuratively, literally, you know.
Literally. Literally. Literally.